you've done, right? Or even your children, like, Mom, why are you on the phone? Right? I had all that too. Or maybe even some of your closest family members say, it takes somebody really special to do that. That's what was said to me. Can you believe that? And she meant it out of love because she didn't want to see me get hurt by one of these things again. But if I believed what she said and that I wasn't special enough to do this, none of you would be here. So I encourage you all to know that you have what it takes just by being yourself as you are today. I did this messy, and I did it anyway. And all of you showed up one by one because you're like, hey, that looks like fun. Somebody kind of just flopping around like a fish out of water, doing this thing, but she's so excited and passionate about it. Would you agree? Honestly, people buy you. Not how well you speak, not how nice you dress, not how great your hair is. Just show up in the work. We're going to talk a lot about storytelling tonight because it was that first initial post I did on April 1st, 2013 that started this train. And there was no rhyme or reason to my story. It was just my truth, the ugly truth. And I was bawling when I hit post, like sobbing. Kim and I, we cried over a pizza before we decided to do this thing. And Pazuki. She had beer. I did not, but it's scary. Would you agree that it's scary to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, especially when you're really excited about something? The last thing you want is somebody that you care about saying, really? And people will. They'll want to bring you back down to their level, and I get it. But you know what? Those letters you wrote to yourself and that vision board and that whiteboard? Let no one stand in the way of that. No one. Not even yourself. Because you're going to try and talk yourself out of this too. I have several times tried to talk myself out of this. I did not want to be a network marketer. I had cleaned my entire social network locally except for her and my kids. And I was going to go build a network marketing business. Any of you like that? Like you don't think you know anybody here? Or, well, thank goodness for Chicago, Illinois, where I grew up. Woo-hoo, go Cubs! Because that's how it happened. And you just have to be willing to be made fun of, to be talked about, to be ridiculed. Anything else? Any other slams that you want to, what else? I mean, I had people try to shut my business down. There's jealousy. There's all sorts of ugly stuff out there. But if your vision in that letter and your whiteboard is powerful enough, there's nobody and nothing that's going to stop you. The only thing that'll stop you is you. Would you agree? Yes. Awesome. All right, got some recognition tonight. Anybody advanced to consultants this week? Stand up. Woo! That's a big deal. Any managers in the club? Managers? Yay! Nice. How about some directors in the house? Nope. Awesome. Any new executives? That's where we're all headed, right? Did you guys all fill out your little maps to Crystal Executive and put a date on it? Who didn't put a date on it? Why? What are you afraid of? Failing. Good, we're going to talk about that. Most people don't put a date on it. So bravo for being brave enough to raise your hand. I appreciate that. Okay. How many first-time cyclers? How many cycled for the first time this week? Our new consultant, did you cycle? Yes, I thought so. How many enrolled somebody for the very first time this week? Any new enrolling? No? How many of you, this is your first time showing up for anything outside of your home in Isagenix? Okay. Oh, come on! Yeah! We're so glad you're here. All right, who collected double PIVs last week? Yeah. I love, especially the new double PIVs. Those are fun. And who brought someone tonight? Yay! See, it's not a gift until you share it, right? I can't even over pizza. You can share it. It was so fun. So we're going to talk about stories tonight. And the first story I want to bring you up to, we've got somebody named Lauren, who thank you for helping us with this. She's been on the product about a month.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So we're going to hear her story. If you'll come on up. Woo! Since we're going to be talking about developing your story, it'll be fun to listen to hers. And I know you're kind of open to some coaching through the process. Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Because as we're really excited, you're going to see very clearly how sometimes we're so excited and any of you do that? Or send pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of an email? Yeah, I did that too. So welcome, Lauren. Give her a round of applause.
So my name is Lauren. I'm going to be 35 years old in about a week now, so that's pretty exciting. I just had my third child. She's 6 months old. She's awesome. She's a little gummy bear still. Our story really started on the island of Maui. That's where my husband's from, born and raised. I moved there and lived there for about 8 years. During that time, I had 2 kids. We were homeless twice. While we were homeless the second time, we almost lost our WIC because we didn't have a refrigerator to put the milk in, so they were going to take that away from us. During this journey, we decided that we had to take our lives in our own hands, so we moved back to Arizona, where my family is, and we bought a house. This was after we lost the first house that we built because they changed the laws and they count your student loans now. So we bought a house. About 8 months after we bought a house, I found out I was pregnant with my third child. Awesome. But I got really, really sick. And my liver shut down, my gallbladder shut down. I missed a few days of work, and they let me go. They said they canceled my contract, they let me go. So here I was, 2 months pregnant. My husband wasn't working because he was staying home with the kids. I was the breadwinner. And I was pregnant with my third child. So after a lot of crying and 2 months of laying in bed, I decided to pick myself up by my bootstraps, and I was going to do something about it. So I went and I did the thing that I know how to do, and that's cheerleading. And that's where I met Christy. So I'm a coach of, I coach her daughter in cheerleading, and Christy kind of knew my story, and my husband and I aren't healthy, and we wanted to get healthy, and she said, look, I have this thing called Isagenix. You should really, really give it a try. And so on January 1st, Paul and I gave it a try. I've lost 15 pounds. My husband has lost 40 pounds. Not only has he lost 40 pounds, he put his before pictures up the day after he took them. He's committed 100%. I myself am not quite that brave. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe at the end of the 30 days, I'll post the before and after pictures. But that's really what brought us to Isagenix. I love Christy. I love this. I'm a very passionate person. I've always been able to sell for other people. I've always been able to do for other people. I'm a great employee. Why don't I do for myself and my family? I like Christy too. Well, we're excited to be here. It's going to be amazing for both of you guys. Right? And I'm sure after Janalee and Sherry's training today, you're going to be posting some pictures. Just saying. So you guys want to hear how maybe you shouldn't do it? And maybe how some of you have done it, how I've done it before? Yeah? Christy and Gina, come on up here. This is going to be fun. You got to share a microphone though. Okay? I talk really loud.
And camera's right here, so we can make sure those at home get to see your beautiful faces. Gina, hey!
Christy, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. You look amazing.
Thank you. I'm doing this program called Isagenix. Have you heard of it?
No, what's Isagenix?
Oh, girl. This program, this is like life transformation type stuff. Like it's fighting a diet. It's not a diet. It's a nutritional rebalancing system. Okay, and so yeah, it's super interesting. And so what happens is you have we are nutritionally bankrupt. Okay, we are. And so what we do is we get to take this nutrition, this flawless nutrition, and it fills the gaps, the nutritional gaps. And yeah, like because it's bad now. It's bad. Thanks. There's herbicides and pesticides now in like our grounds. And so spinach isn't even as healthy as it used to be. I saw a study on it. It's awesome. I'll send it to you. It's scary. It doesn't matter. You're not doing good enough, though. So but you're going to take your. I know, but okay. So this is a mixture of like the nutritional supplementation on top of cleansing up the toxicity, and that's where the magic is in the toxicity removal, because you're like a car, Gina. Like the oil filter. Do you know when you don't change the oil in a car, like what happens? It gets all like slick. Right. Yeah. In a car, it just doesn't work very well, and it's like the car. It could die, Gina. The car could die. You are that car. And that's where this is exciting, because it's a mixture here where you get to fix all of the problems, and it's delicious because you get to do these shakes that are like vanilla and strawberry.
Wait a minute, Christy. No shakes. It's one of those select shakes. You're to plug your nose.
No, they're really good. And then there's these things I call them Scooby Snacks, and they're really cute, but they're not really.
Wait a minute. Scooby Snacks. That's like a dog treat.
No, they're like, it's human food. It's totally human food. But you eat it. No, you eat it, and it's great, and it's going to change your whole body. And it's like, it turns you into like an entirely different human being. It's like, I mean, it's so great.
Well, you know, I do come home with really low energy, and I kind of.
Yeah, that super sucks. Do you know when I started? I had high blood pressure, and then I took this system, and I don't have it anymore. It totally killed my doctor. It's like, all I can tell you is I have high blood pressure, and I don't anymore. And I had eczema, and now look, like, feel it. Like, it's so I know, right? I know. So it makes all of the difference in the world. So do you want to try it?
I'm a little terrified, a little fearful.
But that's just stress. That's just stress. And do you know what you need for that? You know what you need for that? Adaptogens. Adaptogens. Yeah, adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic.
Wait a minute. Herbs. That sounds illegal. This girl will not put anything illegal.
No, but it's not. It's like the good herbs. It's the so there was a guy there, John Anderson. You don't know who he is, but he's like a big deal, and they call him the mineral man. And so he got bit by a brown recluse spider. And then he went to the other side of the world. They like climbed him out.
Wait a minute, other side of the world. It sounds like magic mushroom.
No. That magic happens inside. Inside. And so then he came back with the adaptogens, and he gave it to Jim and Kathy Cooper. You don't know them either, but they're equally as awesome. And then like Isogenics was born. So do you want to try some of it?
And what about the cost? Oh, it sounds like,
that's not even a thing. It's not even a thing.
That's free.
Well,
get it for free.
It's like just as good, because it's like a redirection of like, okay, like, so the smallest of packs, it replaces a minimum of 2 out of your 3 meals a day. Okay, so you've got like your money that you were spending. It's like here, you're just taking it and you're just moving it over here. That's all you're doing. And then so that helps. And then, you want to know what the best part is? Sure. Why it's not even going to matter? Because we have the best compensation plan ever. The best.
Wait a minute, you guys. Not
One of those pyramid schemes.
I'm not doing that.
No. Like, those aren't even like real. Like, that's not even a receivable. But that is a conversation for another time. And we're totally going to have it. No, we're not. It's going to be great, because all you have to do is you just have to be an associate, and then you have to be a consultant, and then you have to be a manager, and then a director, and then you're going to be an executive. And then if you're an executive, then you're going to be a millionaire after that. And so then you don't have to even worry about the money, because you're a thing. Where do you go and you forgot? That's a mental clarity issue. And we have brain support and renewal capsules. Call me, Christy. Give me a call. I'll get my sponsor, Tracy. We'll do a 3-way.
What?
We're moving. You know what? Where are you moving?
We're moving really far. Really far. Out of the country. We're moving
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was like our conversation, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Does any of that sound familiar? Right? Yeah, you feel like you got to know everything about everything and who everybody is, and you don't. Again, we're going to talk about speaking from your heart. And, you know, she threw some things in there about health issues, right? And compliance. And that's a really, really important part of this. And, you know, what's fun is I wasn't supposed to do this part of tonight. And sadly, Trisha is not feeling good. And we told her to stay home. So give Trisha some love. And so I was like, oh, good. I get to work with my good friend. This is how good Isagenix is. We've been friends for 32 years. We were in the crib when we met. But seriously, we went to high school together, played high school softball, college softball together. And we get to do this together about developing your story. And it's ironic because this whole organization started with her and I over a pizza in Pizookie. And there's nobody else on this earth at that time in my life. Like, seriously, we were crying over pizza. We had just turned 40. We're like, what are we going to do with our lives? Right? It was pretty sad. And, you know, we both decided this is what we're going to do, at least physically. We had no idea that we were going to do this as a business. Certainly not me. I think I could speak for you. She was throwing up on the way here because she's so nervous about doing this tonight. So give her lots of love. She's amazing. She's beautiful. She's got the biggest heart and soul of anybody I know. That's why she's been my friend for 30 plus years. Come on, Kitty. I love you. Don't throw up on me. We've thrown up on a few base paths before after a pizza or two. So we're going to talk about developing your story. Kim's going to touch on some stuff first, and then we're going to tag team. It's not a three-way. We're going to tag team each other. I was like, seriously, what was that about? All right? You got this.
Compliance. As we heard in here, it's a big deal, you guys. And we want to protect our company. We want to protect Isagenix and our business and everything that we have. It could happen overnight. We could lose everything if somebody hears a story, and it's happened with some of our big leaders too on calls in the past in other companies, and they lose everything. It could be gone overnight if we don't follow the guidelines. So we need to be compliant in our stories, in our claims, and our testimonials. And this is true for all aspects. So print, it doesn't matter if it's Facebook, social media, one-on-one conversations with one another. So we need to make sure that that's just a huge thing. So you need to make sure that everything is accurate and truthful. Is that a problem for anybody? Reasonable expectations. So Kenya, 450 pounds lost may not be reasonable for somebody else, but it's her true and accurate story. So we're sometimes now putting that into our stories and saying this is not true for everybody, but it's a possibility, absolutely a possibility. Do not promise ever or guarantee anything financially, physically. We don't have guarantees. We have so many different circumstances that lead to whatever happened. You put into it transforming your business and your body. So we do that 3 ways, and this is kind of leading into our story as well. So you need to make sure her 3 things here: attitude, belief, and commitment. Write that down. Okay. You need to have attitude that this is something everybody wants to do. Attitude of gratitude. You're thankful for everything, and it's going to come back to you. Your energy, that was huge at kickoff. Your energy is everything. What you put out there for everybody, they're going to see. So the positive energy, the positive vibrations, and that's going to bring those kind of people around you. You don't want to be working with that negative person. Do you? Do you want that in your business? Absolutely not. So belief. Belief in your business. Belief in your company. Belief in Isagenix. Belief in the products. Belief in yourself. People read that. They don't want anything to do with you if you're not putting that out there. If you don't put products in your body, if you're not a product of the product, who's going to buy what you're saying. All right? Commitment. Be 110% committed to this business, committed to yourself, and committed to the people around you. We're bringing people up, our associates, the people around us, our community, and we need to be committed to what we're doing. Okay, so that's how we're going to grow our business. That's how we're going to take everything to the next level. And with that, we've got our story. Okay, so what's your story? Everybody has a story. When you're having a conversation with the person that you're met at the soccer game, so you've got a bunch of soccer moms hanging out together, a girlfriend from high school hanging out together, your story is going to be related to their story. Do you understand? Okay. So we're hearing the pain points for most people when you're in a conversation with somebody. If you sit back and listen, that's where you're going to take everything in. We've got solutions for everything. So Tracy's telling me she's a crazy, busy mom running all over the place. She has no energy. She can't sleep. You're going to take that and use your story to share. So I've got 10,000 stories, right? Tracy's got 10,000 stories. And we're using other stories. We're story collectors. So I can use Kimmy's story. I haven't lost that kind of weight, but I know somebody who has, and we can use that. We can use athletes, somebody who needs that performance, that energy. Busy mom, pregnant mom. We've got all of those stories that we can collect. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning.
So when you were listening to Christy and Gina, you know, the number one thing I thought of, when other than all the crazy stuff she was saying, was that she did not ask Gina one question except, do you want to try what I got? Right? She didn't understand it all. Like even when Gina went to say, I have no energy, yeah, and then moved on. So it's really, really important that you are a better listener than you are a talker. And this was kind of, oh, hello. Hello.
Okay. That's what's really important, is becoming a good listener. And, you know, especially when we're starting this and you're in the beginning stages and you want to just spew out what you've got and you're afraid you're going to lose them if you don't tell them everything all at once. And I'm here to tell you, like, even in my past careers, building a relationship was everything. You know, some of the top people in this company had to hear this 12 to 21 times before they're like, and even considering it. And so, you know, how many of you have been in Isagenix less than 6 months? A few of you. And I'm sure that you've met people, or the person that brought you in, you knew their story, right? Did you know, like, and trust them when you didn't know them? You knew them.
But I didn't really trust her.
That's okay. It's okay. I do now. That comes later. But there was something about her that intrigued you, or her story, right? Or a story she may have shared, you know? Are we here yet? No.
Well, and you don't have to know. I didn't know you.
You didn't know
I
me at all.
trusted you in 20 minutes, and
It's true.
so.
It's true. But being a really good listener is probably the most important thing, because we have a solution for anything, whether it be weight wellness, energy, performance, healthy aging, or even wealth creation. I mean, most people are struggling financially. Most people would love more time. Would you agree? Yes. And I needed all the pillars, and I still was not really interested in the business. Talk about being closed-minded. It only took me about 4 days to turn around, but still, you know, thank goodness. Thank goodness. So when we're sharing our story, you know, if you're out and about, and, you know, you probably have different circles. If you're a parent, if you are a business person, you know, you have all different hats that you wear. Would you agree? Yeah. I mean, I'm a mom sometimes, I'm this sometimes. And, you know, how I talk to somebody could be different in each situation, and you will be the same too. But the key is to listen. And a lot of you guys, like Christy and Gina showed, you just start rambling off everything that you've ever heard and know about Isagenix, right? Totally did it. So would it be helpful if you had some kind of a template? So no matter what kind of part of your story or what part of somebody else's story you told, you could just plug and play, right? Plug in and play out your mouth, right? Because there's nothing like belly to belly. We're going to hear about social media tonight, and it's awesome. But there is nothing like that human connection, eye to eye, face to face, that really, really touches people. And they can hear your heart. Do we have it now?
Look at that. Pros. When they can hear your heart and see your heart, I'm telling you, people thought I was crazy. But they're like, I don't know whatever you're doing, but I want whatever you got, because your energy, your confidence, you're happy, you're excited, and I need that in my life. Whatever it is, as long as it's legal, I'm in. And I didn't know Jack. I didn't even know what adaptogens were. And she did. But I think that was appealing, because if they wanted to know what that was, well, Google it. Google GTS. Okay. So we're gonna break down the story. So Kim's gonna go around and we're gonna kind of tap into your story. So like before Isagenix, what was your life like? What do you love about your life? I was a very happy, busy mom, right? Or I was a tired professional worker who loved what they did. And we're gonna kind of put together some stories. Would that be helpful? Yeah? All right, Kim.
Okay. Before Isagenix, I'm going to give you an example. So for me, I was a critical care nurse of 19 years. That's my positive. I loved what I did. I was working with people. I was in the healthcare field and taking care of everybody. I loved it. Examples. Who did what before Isagenix? Christy?
I was a high school English teacher.
High school English teacher. Anybody else?
What'd you love about it?
I just loved being able to know that I was impacting those kids every day, and I felt like I was changing the world in that classroom in my own small way.
Impactful and changing the world.
What didn't you like about it?
I didn't like that I would go home and be grading term papers and research projects till 11 o'clock at night on the couch, eating a bowl of cereal because it was all I had time for. There was just no time. And yet I was working and grading until bedtime, and you don't get paid for those hours as a teacher. So,
What has ISA done to change that for you?
it's now my full-time job.
Full-time job.
What's good about that though?
I did not have to trade time for money anymore. And I get to now I get to work around my life and not live around my work. And that changed everything.
Awesome.
So do you see how using that template,
Could, in less than 60 seconds, could make an impact if she's talking to a teacher or somebody who does not want to be away from her children, right? Boom, 60 seconds. Like, she loves her life. It's not like, oh, woe is me, my life stunk all the time, because it doesn't, right? It wasn't, well, mine did, but that's just a different story. But most people really do enjoy life, and a lot of people enjoy their careers. However, what if something happened? What if? So this is beautiful. I remember when Christy came on board, she's like, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want anybody else picking my kids up from school. I'm like, great. How much do you need to make? 14 cycles. And so we had 14 all over the place, so she wouldn't have to go back to work. All right, let's get another one.
well, Kim, real quick, what didn't you like about being a parent?
Pain point for me. 13-hour shifts plus weekends, nights, holidays, exhausted, taking care of everybody else, mentally stressed, no sleep, helped with the divorce issues, and weight gain on top of that. All of it.
What has
It's
ISA
crazy.
done for you?
Isagenix changed my life.
How?
Freedom.
What does that look like?
Woo. I get to help others. I get to train others. I get to help people live life versus dying in the ICU. Okay?
Perfect. Okay, that's my notes.
I'm Susan, I'm from Gilbert. Before Isagenix, I was about to be 50 and a brand new empty nester.
Woo! And you loved your life how?
I loved the humans that I created and was about to turn out loose on the world.
What did you like about that?
The 4 walls that we lived in, because my world consisted of those 4 walls and these 3 human beings. Well, I liked all of them.
I get it. I'm with you. I'm in the same boat, so I feel you. And what has Isagenix done to change that?
The culture
That's probably
that is rampant in this stinking company, man. Like you can't describe it. And I've been involved with lots. It's literally unmatched.
So, good question would be, what type of person, what story would you be hearing, like what pain point would you be hearing from somebody that you would use that story with?
I would say so many people get their kids are ready to go to college and they don't know what to do. They sit home and watch soap operas. Or they just wander the malls all day long.
Netflix and
You
rescue dogs.
need some friends. And let's face it, most of us females, we meet our friends through our kids.
I'm feeling you, sister. Awesome. All right, let's do one more. Nice job. You better raise your hand or I'm gonna call on you. One of them girls over there. Pretty girls. I see you, pretty girl.
Hi, I'm Adriana, and I'm now in Mesa. I live in Georgia. So before Isagenix, I was a stay-at-home mom with a side business. And what I loved is that I could be home with my kids. My side business was never enough money though to pay the bills. So that's what I didn't like. So there was just paycheck to paycheck. I was getting really, bored, I guess, and not liking myself so much. I had gained a ton of weight. I was always sick, and I just didn't like who I was. And then what Isagenix has done for me is that I lost the weight. I gained so much confidence. But the biggest thing is my growth. I didn't realize how, I guess immature I was is a good one. I guess I have to admit that. But, oh gosh, like I've learned so much about myself and the love of everybody around me that has lifted me up, that has helped me in my growth and just loved me as I got better, and I still am getting better, and I still love getting this. So it has changed my world, but it's like a nice bonus. But who I am today is what I love about Isagenix.
Yeah.
Is that super helpful? Like having that little template, and isn't that more of a conversation than like, I am an Isagenix robot and there are adaptogens and greens and 42 salads in this drink, and right? You know, you want to kind of play conversation tennis with people. And I guarantee you ask a lot more questions, you're going to get to bedrock. How many of you guys were here last week? The goal in the conversation is to get to bedrock in a very loving way. Not because you want to like slam Isagenix down their throats, but because you truly do care about them. And if you don't, please don't have that conversation. I'm being totally 100% honest. If you aren't truly caring about the person you're talking about, even if it's a stranger, don't do it. Because I see enough out there of people giving network marketing an icky name by being that cutthroat person that doesn't care. You're here because you care, and I know that. I know that. You all made that agreement when you came here. But if you ask at least 5 questions to their one, you're going to get to bedrock a lot faster, and you're going to know the story to pull out. And using this very conversational, totally authentic to you thing, it will be much, much easier. Would you agree? Right? I love it. I love, love, love it. And it's very easy. You don't even need to have like note cards or anything. It's like, I know what my life was before Isagenix, and I know what I liked about it. However, I know what was missing. What was missing in your life that Isagenix fixed or solved or brought to the table that was missing. right? We don't want to leave any cards left on the table, right? So let's have Isogenics deal those hands out to them left and right. So what we're going to do, right, is going to break into, I want you to find a partner, somebody that you don't know. And I'm watching, I know who knows who. All right, and I want you to practice your stories. One-on-one. If somebody doesn't have a partner, put your hand up. But find somebody you don't know, please, and truly practice this. This is where the confidence comes. Hello. I'm so proud of you guys talking like humans. You know, it's so nice to see people having a conversation without their heads buried in a phone, isn't it? It's so refreshing. Those cell phones are great, but they are trouble sometimes. Carly, you got a good story, huh? It's all good. All good. I love it. This is what life is all about, is communication and connection. Even if they don't love Isagenix, it's good to love them, right? So how many of you guys have maybe held back because you've got a story of your own that you tell in your head? It's okay. We're in a circle of trust here. You can raise it higher. It's okay. I get it. I get it. Who would be willing to share that? Come on. Is that it? Christy, Kenya, you two come on. And you know who else has a story in their head?
A lot of stories.
My lifelong beautiful friend. Seriously, this isn't about any of us. This whole thing, I mean, it has to be about you to start. And you put the stuff in your body and you love it, and you keep putting the stuff in your body and you love it. And it was never about me once I decided to do this and to share it. And I was in a position in my life where I could have very easily told a lot of stories to myself about how worthless I was, how inadequate I was, what a POS I was. I mean, all those stories could have run through my head, but it was never about me. It was about each one of you that would show up. And I'm so glad that I pushed past that. And, you know, we'll do some training about how to do that. I know it's really easy for me to say, well, I did it and you should too. Like, I get it. There's a lot of work that you don't see that goes into the daily work to be able to do that day in and day out. And that's what that group is for. Please, it is a safe, beautiful place. And we're all here to help you through that, okay? Because the world does need us, right? So Kim, what is the story in your head that is holding you back?
Several, but one of the big ones is, for those of you that don't know me, I'm very, very shy. I don't talk to people. I like to hide and bury things. So the story in my head is I can't talk to people. I can't meet somebody. I have nothing to say. Nobody's going to listen to me. I'm just a nurse. I also had fears of going to other competitors or fitness people because, you know, they're so stuck in their ways and they've been doing the same thing forever and ever and ever. So I know now that I've done it this way, that Tim's done it this way, and it's better. It's way better, and it's way safer, and it's way healthier for us to do it this way.
She's so awesome. Come here, beautiful. God, you look good in red. Hot. What's holding you back? I don't see anything holding you back, but I'm sure there's.
Well, it was though.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
So I just felt this year.
So one of the things that was holding me back probably prior to, I guess it was, yeah, I used to have a lot of money, like a lot, like really young. I was very successful. And so when I got sick, I lost it all naturally because it's very expensive to be sick. So that's why I always say, hashtag pay to live or pay to die. Because I'm living life right now, but I'm still paying from where I was dying. Think about that. So I would tell myself, well, I can only share the product because I don't really deserve a lot of money because I'm just going to get sick again and then lose it all. But I declare that that's not going to happen because I'm supposed to walk in abundance. And I claim that not just for myself, but for every person that I know and see. Because that's just that self-sabotaging mentality. I know I'm great. That's the thing. But when you have allowed so many broken parts of your life to continue to live in your new identity, which I talk about, you know what I'm looking at, which I talk about in our Marco Polo a lot, because the thing about changing is you can't take your old habits into your new identity or your new identity into your old habits. They don't go together. So that's why I talk about divorcing your old habits. Make it final, make it real, because that word hurts us when you say that, because it's finality. So you have to be in a final spot to move past the story. So I've done that, and I am enrolling and getting people active like crazy. So
Really? God, I love this woman. So proud of you. And I feel everything you're saying. Because trust me, this last year for me as well has been like, oh, heck no, I'm not going back there. Divorce. My daughter, her thing for 2018 is snip. Snip. You're toxic, snip. Out. Love it. She's 21. Snip. Hashtag snip. I can see you saying that. That's very cool. Come here, you. Oh, this woman. All right, what's holding you back? Seriously.
Nothing.
So what is holding me back is I was extremely successful in a very unhealthy way previously with another network marketing company. And I am absolutely afraid and working every day to overcome the fear that I will be successful in an unhealthy way again. And I refuse to be successful in any way other than a healthy way. I will be successful in a healthy way. That's key for me. And that comes piece by piece. That is not something that has happened. Boom, here the decision is made. I am still in the process of deciding, but I am forward speaking and saying every day I have decided.
Your beautiful heart. And that's the point I want to make with all of us. And those of you that were afraid to raise your hand, I totally get it. This is not a make a decision and boom, like any of you wish, like the little nose, and boom, there it is. No. It's work every day and remembering why you're here, remembering the people that are going to come that need you. And seriously, this is the best thing ever. Divorcing your habits. Love. Snip. Awesome. So, thank you, ladies. Thank you. All right, Lindsay Brzezinski, where are you with those little names? There you are. So guess what? You guys were so good about working on your story. So guess what? Who wants to win a prize? I'm telling you, I brought a prize. I brought 2 prizes that you can't even get anymore. Oh, yes, I did. So guess what? We're going to tell some stories. Kim, pick a name. We're going to hear your story. So we're going to use the template, keep it under 60 seconds, and we're going to cheer the heck out of you. Does that work? Stacy. Stacy Novus, not Evans. Oh, you got out of that. We should just pull you up just because you come up too. Come on. All right, come on over, sister.
Hi, let's hear it. My whole story? Well, okay. So I'm Stacy from Tempe. Before Isogenics, I was a stay-at-home mom and what I like to call a serial volunteer. I did, PTO. I did Little League for my kids. I was in the Daisy Girl Scouts. So I was always like busy, but I didn't really ever take care of me. And so I got to a point where I was 40 pounds overweight and I was just tired and cranky all the time because I was busy doing other things for other people. So while I enjoyed the interaction, it was dragging me down and very stressful. So Isogenics, once I got Isogenics into my body, I lost 40 pounds. I was more positive. I had a lot more energy. I had more energy for the volunteer positions I was doing. I had more energy for my kids. And I just enjoyed my life a lot more.
That was great. Who would you share that story? Like if you were in a conversation with somebody, who would you be sharing that story with?
Probably somebody in a similar situation where they're just super busy moms doing lots of things for other people, but not doing things for themselves.
Like pretty much every woman in the world, right? And can we talk about your skin and hair and your body right now? Like seriously, walking billboard, awesome, great job. Big breath. Stacey Evans. Okay, the story story you're about to tell, who is the person that you're telling this to? Because obviously, if she's listened to their pain points and gotten to bedrock, right, as Tricia said last week, you kind of know, right, what story they need to hear. So who is the person that you're telling your story to right now?
I'm telling my story to another empty nest mother. I was an empty nest mom, and my boys left for college way far away. They went to New York, both of them from here. So
I would die.
it was very difficult. My husband and I had a 2-story house, and we have a basement, and every time we walked by, it was like this. We couldn't even go down there to where their bedrooms were. So it was very sad. But what I loved about it was my husband and I had freedom. He still works, but we were able to go on some trips together. We were able to really reconnect again, go on dates, just have some fun times together. What I didn't like about it was I started getting really bored, and I got depressed and sad, and I started eating a lot. I ate a lot. I got up to almost 200 pounds, and I just ate for comfort. So what Isagenix has done for me, it has changed my life in so many ways. I've lost 55 pounds and 88 inches. I love this community of friends and people. It's just amazing to me how loved I feel and how I've been able to just connect with so many wonderful people. I also love that this is changing my family's financial blueprint. I'm going to bring my husband home from his State Farm insurance agent. I'm going to. I'm saying in the next 4 years, that's when it's happening. So 4 years.
Oh my God.
She nailed it. That was a beautiful story. I mean, I'm feeling you. Let's drink shakes together. Right? Right? So very natural, conversational. Not like, drink my shakes, join my team. Peace. Right? Wasn't it? Very cool. Awesome. So glad you're here. You look phenomenal. Love the boots.
Thank you.
Pick a prize. Scott Smith. Ooh, it's gonna be a good one. I like the boys. They tell the best stories. It's good to see you. Very nice to see you. Great. Come on up. Okay, who's the story that you're going to be sharing this with? Like, who are you having this conversation with?
Guys that are like me, that are stuck working the job that they've had for 20 years and have never felt like they could change that. That's what I'm talking to.
I'm that guy.
You are that guy. So, before Isagenix, I was an operations manager, financial communications, and have been, I'm not great with microphones.
Yes, you are.
Have been for most of the last 20 years. I have a 3-hour two-way commute. So every day I'm on the road one way for at least an hour and a half, sometimes 2. That's a lot of time away from my family every week, from my wife and from my children. I love that I get to have an impact on the team that I work with and on the customers for the business that we run. It's very gratifying to me. I really enjoy that. I get to coach them, counsel them, help them. What I don't love is that long ass commute. Pardon me. It drives me crazy, honestly. I used to not mind it. I hate it. Every day I hate it. Even if I'm listening to positive things, it's such a drag. Well, since I found Isagenix, so I've had good results on some of the products. When I did my first IsoBody challenge, I lost 48 pounds.
Nice.
I feel better, in spite of being nervous and running out of breath right now.
You're great.
I feel better, but what really I get from it is that I have hope. For the first time in my life, I have hope that I can make a change, that I can help others make that same change. And that, I mean, I'm going to turn 50 this year. I don't have to hit 50 thinking, crap, what am I going to do in 10 or 15 years? Because I already know.
So good, right? So good. And I love that we share like what we love about our life and the things that we're doing that we love currently, and that there is something missing, right? Right? So good. I can feel it. I have road rage so bad. Oh, I had the 2-hour commute each way too, so I feel you. Thank you. Go ahead and pick something. All right. Thank you, Laura. Susan. You guys are doing so good. Does it feel natural? No? Yeah?
Do you guys feel their pain points? Did you feel that? I was emotional.
I'm like, I'll sit in the car with you, Scott.
Hello. Wait. So who are you having this conversation with?
I had it yesterday at the Mayo Clinic Scottsdale, where I was for 4 hours.
Oh, I feel you.
With people in the waiting room who were waiting with me. Yeah, not fun. I mean, it's a beautiful facility, but it's not fun to be there.
I feel it.
So I said to the gal who was filling out her paperwork with me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been type 1 diabetic for 35 years. How about you? I said, years ago, 2 years ago, I said, I was given a come to Jesus talk from my physician. He said, if you want to see your grandchildren alive, you need to change something. And I'm a badass. I thought I was totally rocking my health, but I was 50 pounds overweight and not headed in a good direction. Little did he know at the time when my doctor said that is I was about to become a grandmother. So things changed. And I started putting amazing nutrition in my body. And I changed my life. By the time I turned 50, I lost 50 pounds and 48 inches. Now, I am still diabetic because I've been diabetic since I was 17 and you don't change that. But I am a bigger diabetic than I was then. All right, and that is not changing. If you are not on our vitamins, you need to be on our vitamins. All right? So, I'm just saying, nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. And that's what Isagenix can give you.
Love, love, love. So good, right? Gosh, I want to be on all your teams. All of you. Oh, yay! Yay me! Ashley Roar. Oh, yeah. She's a newbie, right? This is good for you, girl. I know you're gonna crush it. So who's this conversation with? Friends.
Just your girlfriend?
Girlfriends. Before actually. Well, I had a baby about 2 months ago. So. So the biggest thing is my knowledge of Isagenix is it helps with weight loss. And so for me, I know I probably can say like,
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna probe you.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to these questions, okay? So before you started Isagenix, you had just had the baby.
Correct.
Your baby.
2.5 months.
Oh, boy or girl?
Boy.
What's his name?
Mason.
Oh, Mason. Is he gonna be an athlete like you?
Hopefully, it'll be fun.
Is it
Be a
first-
true soccer mom. Yeah.
First baby?
Third. Add a few years.
You look amazing. What are you doing?
An incredible thing. It's called Isagenix.
Really? Why did you start it? What was missing in your life?
I'm trying to get myself back. Being athletic or being fitness or however you want to put it, and having a baby, you kind of lose sense of yourself.
How old are the kids?
8, 4, and 2 months.
Wow, so there's not a lot of you time, right?
Right, busy. So
What has
trying
this-
this product, my energy shot through the roof. I was going off for 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and I found at 3 p.m. I didn't need a nap. And so for me,
See, once you got comfortable, you're like,
oh, I don't need a nap anymore. Like if you're talking around moms and you say I don't need a nap anymore, every head's gonna be like, what? What are you doing? Is it crack? Give it to me, right? So just relax. You're great, and you're amazing. No, you're great. See, what? You're like 3 weeks in, right? How about that? So, you look amazing. Amazing. Yeah, what about Rudy? We got one more, I think. We got one more. Oh, it's the best one. You hope your name gets picked, just saying. Oh, we got 2 more. This is pretty darn good, too. Okay, who we got? We already did Kenya. We love you. We love you. Do you want a prize?
Yeah.
Okay, come here. We'll give it to you.
I am so thankful now that I prayed that I would wait.
There you go, girl. You deserve a prize. Yeah, but we're going to make you tell your story for 60 seconds. So who is this conversation with?
Every person. This is for somebody who's feeling hopeless, because I'm learning to share my story outside of weight. Because everybody doesn't need to lose weight, but everybody has brokenness, so people can relate to brokenness.
60 seconds, nail
Hey, how are you doing today? It's so good to see you. I saw your Facebook post. It kind of saddened me a little bit. Is everything okay?
it. Oh, everything's great.
Oh, well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. You don't got to tell me your stuff, but I want to be honest with you because I just feel like I should. You know, before I was just really in a bad place. I was paralyzed and praying to die. And I just felt like life had really quit on me. And I didn't want to fight anymore. And I loved being able to help people, but I couldn't do that anymore, so I quit. And so when my friend came along and told me to try out this amazing nutrition, I realized, why not give it a try? I couldn't lose anything at that point. But the fact that today I am a whole person who's able to inspire people to want something more, I know that's because of the nutrition in my body. And I want that for everyone. And so I know you may not want to tell me what's wrong, but I know I have something that can help if you ever want me to listen.
Nailed it.
That's what it's all about. Hey, take a breath. Take a breath. That's what it's all about. Like she was paying attention. She saw my pain point. And she just was all heart and very vulnerable and authentic, right? Amazing. Okay, we got one more. And so this one.
Stacy, where did it?
Oh, we already did. Look at that. This is.
It was supposed to happen. No,
It was that one. Lori Linder. Right. Oh, yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
All right, who is this conversation with?
Any influential executive like me, like I was. I just retired December 1st. So before I was at Genix, I was a CFO for 30 years at 2 Banner Health facilities, and then for a large medical group in the community. Loved it. It was my way of helping people, not being a clinician, but I was empowered people to be able to do what they do by doing their finances. Can't do my own, can do it over there. What I didn't like, and Stacy knows this, extremely stressed, 14-hour days, hour and 20-minute commute each way, traveling at my last job. I did a lot of traveling. My team was in Texas, California. 12:30 in the morning, I'd be sitting in my room doing a report, thinking my family and my life is back home, and I am
sitting in a hotel room after 12 hours still doing a report. Stacy came into my life. Actually, I knew Stacy when she sold me clothes from Chico's. And she reached out and I finally bit. It took me a while. And thought, okay, I'm going to try this, mainly from the stress. I did lose 25 pounds and 35 inches. But my stress level is what I needed help with. And putting the nutrition in really helped me out. Also, I've been working with my financial people about retiring, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I couldn't do it. And finally decided this was enough. I'd had enough, and it was time for me to retire. So I'm just embarking on this. I'm the turtle, as I tell Stacy, but that's what I suggest is done for me.
Love it.
Super helpful, right? Does this help? Yes. Well, great, because we're going to see Gina and Christy do it the right way now, together.
Yeah.
They've been paying attention and taking really, really good notes. Haven't you, girls?
Gina, hey. Hi, Christy. How are you?
Good to see you.
You look fantastic.
Thanks.
What are you doing?
Well, you know, I've always been a trainer, absolutely loved my life. However, I had a life-changing event that left me lethargic, overweight, and I could not inspire my clients any longer. You know, it's really hard to pour from an empty cup, but I found a solution. It was Isogenics. It's a nutritional cleansing system. It helped me release 20 pounds. My energy was off the roof. I had never felt better in my whole life. I shared with friends and family because everybody deserved to feel this way. And the financial reward has allowed me to live my lifelong dream of opening a women's fitness center where I get to bless other women with physical and financial freedom. And Christy, I would really like to connect with you and share this opportunity. Let's set up a time where we can chat.
That sounds fantastic. I would love it.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
So much better. Well, awesome. How many of you guys have kind of dabbled with social media? A little bit. How many of you guys are terrified of putting anything on social media regarding Isogenics or what you're doing or anything? Why? I'm sure we'll get to it. Well, we have two beautiful ladies that will be training on that tonight. Jerry, where are you? There you are. It's a beauty. So these two ladies are crushing it in their Isogenics business. And, you know, with social media, it gets kind of scary, right? Like I said, I sobbed. Like, ugly cry. Like the Kim Kardashian ugly cry. Like was what I did when I first posted. So I get this, and they're going to give you lots of nuggets. Get ready to take some notes and take some action.
Hi, everybody. But my notes are in my hand, so I don't forget anything. And Janelle's here for backup and to make sure that we get some fillers, because we all do things a little bit different too. So how many people here have their Facebook set as public? A little more than half, that's great. That's great. So first and foremost, when you're dealing with social media, you have to think about Facebook as your store. And I'm going to just talk about Facebook, and Janelle's going to talk a little bit more about Instagram and other things. But Facebook seems to be working for most people. So most people can use it no matter what age group they are. So we tend to talk about the most. But if you're not public, people can't just randomly find you. Friends of friends can't see what you're doing. Like if they shared your post on their page and they see it, they can't get back to you. So super important to think about it being public. Okay, and don't be scared, because if you had a brick and mortar building